new video for a brand new piece. Nice big circle. So the plan with this one is to probably do some nice earthy greens and yellows. I'm trying to go against what I've already got in some paintings. So of the new ones on the linen that I'm trying to really refine and do the best versions of these, I've already done like the nice clear blue depth with brown in the foreground, which is one colour combination that seems to work well, but that's kind of been done with that one. And then we've got this one, which is like ethereal. I wanted to go really pale and see what it's like starting with a completely white background and working in some colour, and how that would work if it would stay pale. And with this one I kind of realised it does stay very pale. It's just, you know, it's just its own little universe, its own sort of version. So this one's, yeah, and there's sort of just one colour with a little bit of yellow in it, but this is much more like ethereal and very light. So that was one go at that kind of thing. And then this one, I picked the colours at random, but I ended up doing something I wanted to do was to go for like goddess kind of colours. It was just this colour scheme that I've been thinking about, which I don't usually do, which is like bright pinks, because they're kind of a bit garish, but sometimes I feel like I need to lean into things that I might not normally be attracted to. So usually I really like, you know, like turquoise is probably the main colour I go for, like purples and blues and turquoise, so that kind of range from either side of the blue. So I was like, let's go deep into like pinks and reds. So luckily I picked out, I think, like a reddy purple, a dark red, and then goddess colours with me thinking like sort of fuchsia and then like gold. So I actually also picked out a deep yellow. So then that's this painting. So it's like you've got like pinky soft colours, which is very feminine, but then also like almost the gory side of the feminine, but like fleshy. No, not necessarily pretty, but very like visceral. So I think that one gets that quite well. So I think this time I'm going to remove the colours that I always pick, or that these have in them. So I've got my tray of paints. So like ultramarine blue is a classic, so I'm going to just take that one out of the, remove the option. What other colours do I use? I love a good purple, so let's get rid of the purples. I have all these browns. I never use brown that much because the idea is that you mix brown, because you can mix brown with the other colours, but this is just a bit of a shortcut, but I don't usually use these straight away, so I think I'll leave them in there, but that means I'm likely going to pick out some browns. I think I might just pick out some at random, but I think I'm definitely going to use some greens and yellows, and like this is a turquoisey blue, so we'll leave that one out. And what other ones I used? That dark yellow, so let's get rid of the dark yellow. I might go back and get some of those back in, but to start off with, I want to start off with colours that I wouldn't straight away pick out, so I'm just removing the ones that I would usually go for to start with. Right, so I've got some colours in here that I don't really use very much, like grey. And then I'll start with grey. But maybe, you know, they exist, so they should stay in there for a bit. And like a mauve purple, but it's just like a not very good purple. I have better purples, it's just like a bit bland. But maybe we should leave that in there for this go. And then yes, I've got some ochres, some reds, like this red I use, so I'll get rid of that one. But yeah, I think I want to go heavily towards like the colours that aren't in these three, which is like earthy greens. This one here has got these kind of murky colours in it, but it's still quite pale and still got purples in it. I would think I want to go for something more like this one. This is a much older one, it's quite dense. The new ones have a lot more white and have a lot more depth. So in here you get little pockets of things happening, but overall it's it's his own thing. But I think I can refine this. So I think I want to do something like, you know, you've got really nice dark browns in here. You've got kind of the reds and the blues that you can make all these different types of brown with, but like very earthy. And then yeah, some like, I don't really use yellows, like sort of lemon yellow. This is kind of my only other one that's got like oranges and yellows in it. And I do really like this one. It's very nice, and this one works really well with the depth. And then we've got these kind of like murkier greens in this foreground. Sometimes the foreground stuff works better with like muddy colours. I might in the future try doing muddy colours in the background, but I think it's going to make it look misty. Not clear, but maybe that's just like a different terrain to explore, like a different atmosphere. You know, it's just more narrative, more story, more intrigue, that, you know, what, this is like not the pretty place. Like sometimes I think I always go directly for like, oh, what's the most prettiest thing? But maybe just more interesting to have some darker things going on and some more unusual colour combinations that I wouldn't normally pick, that might suggest more of like a murky atmosphere. It's just different. It's just different kinds of, you know, different emotions, different feelings. You can't just be happy all the time. You need to have this contrast of different colours and different experiences to enrich it. You can't just have like, you know, you can't be just like manically happy all the time. It's a bit intense and weird. So you know, just more softer, more subtle, more complex, nuanced forms of colour and interactions. Yeah, so we're going to probably start off with some yellows and some greens, splatter about, maybe some browns, and see what comes out. I'm not going to start off with white like I did with this one. I put loads of white oil paint down and worked the colours into it, but that, you know, becomes a very particular kind of thing. And then this one, I was like, no rules for this one, just go crazy. But then I feel like, I mean, I like it, but that it's very much all in the foreground. There's not that really nice depth that I like. So I want a combination of those two. And then this one, we have the really nice depth, and then like the really little cool, interesting things coming on that pop out to the front, that layer on top of that depth. So like this one, you've only got like that little thing over there, and maybe I'll put some more little bits into it, but I think I want more of that weird stuff going on. Like in this one, you've got lots of little critters, little creatures that have kind of keep that continuum going from the background into the complex things happening on top of the ground. So yeah, let's give it a go and see what happens. think that'll do for the time lapse of this one. Now the composition's down and nothing much is changing, it's just getting that detail in and making it nice and crisp and crystal clear. That's not really so visible on the time lapse. You know, it's good for like making the big marks and it's sort of growing and emerging, but now it's like, you know, you really want to be this close to see what's going on. So maybe I'll do some like more slow videos of just painting the detail nicely and sharpening all these bits up. But yeah, I think this will do for like this video of this new big old piece. Happy with the colours. I think they look nice and organic and natural, not too much going on, but some really nice yellows. But then, you know, the other side of the yellow being more greeny and more murky, and then we've got lots of nice tangling going on. So it's like, it's got the white, so you've got the nice depth, but then we've also got quite a lot of like activity and like entanglement from the back to the front with all, you know, these bits. So yeah, it's kind of pushing the side of like the busiest I want them to go nowadays. I think next time I'm going to try do one more like this that's a bit clearer, but I quite like it. It's just a different kind of version of this world, but I think I'm going to call it something like entanglement or something, so it feels very, you know, roots and stuff, more messy, a bit different than the other ones. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this one as it's going. So yeah, just working on that detail now to get this nice and crisp and finished, but this is the composition down, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching.